Hello, hello. Welcome to North Node Alchemy. Today we are going to look into the energies of the Venus retrograde for your North Node placement. If you're not sure where your North Node is, you can check the description box below. There's a link on my site to my site where you can check the chart and see where the North Node is on your birthday. All right, what else do I need to say here? I'm not sure if I'm going to put this all into one big video or if I'm going to upload each sign separately. I am definitely doing this intro just once. So yes, the Venus retrograde is from March 1st to about the 13th of April in 2025. It's going to start in Aries, or it has already started at the time that I'm doing this reading, in Aries from the 1st till about the 27th of March, and then from the 28th of March to the 13th of April, depending on where you are in the world, it will be in Pisces. Dates may vary depending on where you are in the world, but it's definitely in Pisces. So we're starting in the fire sign of Aries and then moving to the water sign of Pisces. This is also following a very watery, dreamy new moon in Pisces and a very auspicious and rare 7-planet alignment. So it's a time of a lot of possibility to step into your big visions, your biggest, most expansive visions, and to make significant shifts in your inner world, belief system, the vibe that you live in, the vibe you give off, and have the external world respond to that change almost immediately. What else can I say about this? Well, I'll take you through the spread that I co-created with my guides and some beings who I work with who reside in the upper echelons of Venus. I'm using the Flower of Venus pattern here, which is just a diagram that shows the dance between Venus and Earth as they orbit the sun. This pattern takes about 5 Venus cycles, or approximately 8 years, to create in the sky. And we're going to start with, let me get my notes. Where are my notes? Okay. In the center, we're going to have an oracle card that denotes the central theme. And then we're going to do the past self, present attributes, that being like some characteristics, traits that energies that you are working with that are working in your favor, let's say, or maybe not. Let's see. I don't want to get ahead of myself there. And then we have the future attribute, or the attribute to embody at the top. We'll talk about the energies that will be stirred up and energies presented during the Venus retrograde for you. And then we'll exit this pattern to see how you will exit the retrograde, or the resolution point of this stir up of energies that will be happening over the next 6 to 8 weeks, possibly beyond. They're telling me 90 days. So there's the energies that are stirred up during this time this is just a catalyst, but there'll be a lot of significant reorganization of energies during this period, the retrograde period, and the weeks following. So I'm going to jump right in to each sign. Thanks for sticking around for the intro, and enjoy your reading. Hello, everybody, with your with your North Node in Scorpio. Let's get your opening card for your Venus retrograde reading. What does Scorpio North Node need to know at this time? Oh, there you go. The Rose of Venus, alignment, flow, right relationship and harmony. I have the feeling that something else wants to come out, but I asked for one, so I'll stick with one. So, the Rose of Venus. I'm going to read from the guidebook for you. The Fibonacci series and the golden ratio on which it's based is a number sequence in which each number is the sum of the preceding two numbers. A rose's petals hold the golden ratio, with each new set of petals growing in the spaces of the previous set. Perhaps this is why we feel changed by gazing into the spiral of a rose. The original rose looked very different to those we grow today. It possessed 5 petals, and interestingly, if we track the movements made by the planet Venus as she orbits the Sun over a period of 8 years, we see they create a 5-fold rose pattern called the Rose of Venus, which is, if you watch the intro, is what's the grid that we are reading on today. Venus was the Roman goddess of love, sex, and fertility, and her symbol was the rose. Perhaps the ancients knew more about the interconnectedness of the universe and life than we think. There's a sacred order to all things. Nature holds the codes of life, and as you are a part of nature, you do too. There's an intelligent force governing all of life, the same force that tells flowers when to bloom and the planet how to spin exists within you. Our tendency to overanalyze and overthink can get us out of alignment with nature and thus life. Our resistance to change does this too. This card is an invitation to look at anything that doesn't feel in alignment. It's a reminder to trust in the tapestry of your life, your ever-changing nature, and to be dedicated to living a life that's deeply aligned. The soul inquiry with this card is what's no longer in alignment with who you are being called to be. So that's the question. What's no longer in alignment with who you are being called to be? So the feeling I get from this card, the message I'm getting is that there are elements of your life that are generated by intellectual contemplation, which all of us have. But in this time, you are being called to review these. And as your Scorpio North Node is calling to you, is to embrace a more mystical side of life, the mystical flow of life, and where it's leading you as opposed to you leading it. There's a call for you during this Venus retrograde to come into flow, into alignment with your flow, and to recognize where life is beckoning you, where it wants to lead you, and how can you surrender to this unfolding of yourself and of your life. There are things that you are trying to control, and they're saying it's as opposed to you controlling, you're blocking. And there's an illusion of control, but it's like swimming upstream. It's like trying to swim upstream when perhaps what you are seeking to create has a different journey for you. It's not as obvious to your intellectual mind, but if you lean into the path of least resistance. Sorry, my mouth is catching up with my heart right now. If you lean into the path of least resistance, you will be led, you'll actually go further faster than your mind believes. So let's see, your past, this flew over here, so I'm going to leave it there, I think. I've created a collection of workbooks for each North Node sign. Connect with your soul's desires and take an introspective journey into your North Node astrology. This workbook contains self-reflection exercises, guided meditations, and a curated Spotify playlist to accompany on your journey of alignment. Discover your soul today and download your workbook at feministalchemist.com. Okay. Past, present, and future energies or versions of self is what I'm being led to say. So you have the Ace of Cups in reverse. So as I said in the opening, as the card alluded to, there are, in the past, there were promptings from your heart that you suppressed or ignored, left unacknowledged, or at least did not act upon. And this Venus retrograde is calling you. You see, this is an ace, which is essentially a one if you really want to give it a number. And the present energy that you are being encouraged to embody during this Venus retrograde period is the energy of the magician. So all of that energy that you put into guiding your life based on something rational, something practical, they're encouraging you to use the qualities of the magician in a way that is more heart-led than head-led. And interestingly enough, if you feel so inclined to check out my shop, the crystal grid that I made, that I curated for this particular cloth, is called Head and Heart in Balance. Head and Heart in Balance. And this is what you're being called to embody or put to use for your evolution and for the best use of the energies during the Venus retrograde. You have the Three of Pentacles in the future, or an energy that you're being encouraged to lean into more and seek out, is one of collaboration and co-creation. Now, it comes in two ways. One is with your higher self, with your heart, with your intuition, with the movement of the universe, with the movement of life. And the other is that, which is not opposite of it, but a contributing factor that may show up, is people being guided into your life, or tools being guided into your life in order to assist this evolution. So I see that you also will be given the opportunity to review and reflect on what is already manifest in your reality. Some of the revelations you are meant to come to in this retrograde period may come from people and things they say to you. So I'm getting that. So pay attention to comments or opinions of people you trust. Now, this comes with a grain of salt. This comes with some discernment. It may be a random person that spirit, the divine, your guides are using to deliver a message to you. In any case, during this period, your physical world will reflect to you will give you the evidence you need in order to stimulate this alignment, this flow, to direct you. Not all of it is necessarily pleasant in its, let's say, at first glance, but your ability to take whatever is presented to you and make something out of it will determine how effectively you can utilize what the universe is presenting you. And they are emphasizing that you can take everything as the universe presenting something to you, whether or not you like what you're hearing or seeing or not, right? Because remember that your emotions are telling you something as well. The universe is giving you signs in that it wants to prompt you towards your ability to create anything with what you have at your disposal, with what's already presented in front of you. I'm going to see what is going to be presented to you during the Venus retrograde. We have the Nine of Swords. I knew this. We have the Knight of Wands. Oh. And at the end, coming out of the Venus retrograde, we have the Queen of Wands and the Seven of Cups in reverse. So, there's an emphasis here on you creating whatever you want. And I'm getting the message that some of you are intimidated by the freedom, by that amount of freedom. This Nine of Swords in reverse is giving the energy of when are you going to stop worrying? That is the sentence that they gave me. When are you going to stop worrying and just move ahead with the passion, intention, and enthusiasm that is natural to you? So you may be presented with opportunities where it almost feels too good to be true, or you have to get over a fear or an anxiety within yourself to step into that opportunity. You may have several of those opportunities come into your awareness or be presented to you during the Venus retrograde. And those opportunities that are coming are meant to show you that there are doors opening in one direction. And if you don't take it, that is your decision not to take it. That ultimately this is your decision. So we're being encouraged here in the Scorpio North Node energy to lean into an unknown and accept that if we say no, due to our own reservations and our own anxieties, that is us and not the world that's presented to us. We may not like the choices that are presented to us, but the decision and the criteria that we use in order to make a decision is up to us. And so this harmony between your head and your heart is those that will be confronted. You will confront situations where that balance will come into your awareness, and your agency of demanding and pursuing that balance in your life will come to a head. If you're wondering how you can work with the North Node in your life, check out my free tip sheet for living in your North Node. It helps you move with conscious awareness and offers practical steps for integrating the North Node in your life. This 2-page download gives you a summary of your North Node sign and a chart of key actions that you can take. Download your free tip sheet today at feministalchemist.com. And so we have, coming out of the Venus retrograde, the Queen of Wands and the Seven of Cups in reverse. This is saying clarity. So you have the potential at the end of this Venus retrograde to come out in a state of embodying this beauty, this rose unfolding, this alignment, and to have the confidence to act on it. You won't be steered in compromising for the sake of having harmony with things outside of yourself. There's a call for you to be harmonious within yourself. It's a right relationship with yourself before, like, having priority over you not rocking the boat or being in, compromising yourself in order to not have uncertainty in your life, for example, and to not have a feeling of instability or to avoid taking a risk. You have the potential of stepping into a place of trust in where your heart is leading you and where the universe is leading you. I'm going to take your final oracle because this felt very clear to me. I hope it was clear to you. There's something else that wants to come out. It's a chatty day in the Venus retrograde energy. Okay, no, they said it's fine because I did ask for just one. Okay, so we have fairy spotting. It's time to go fairy spotting. It is said that seeing is believing, but in fact, the opposite is true. Believing is seeing. I'm going to read from the guidebook, but I feel this is, yes, this trust in your heart with the Queen of Wands. It's like when you decide that path, that flow is not working against you, but working for you, you will see that unfold. You will feel that unfold. And you'll allow the universe to gift you with a lot that, a lot of the blessings that you've been holding at bay in the past with this, let's say, focus on rationality, practicality, and mitigating risk. So let's see what the card says to close your reading here. Have you ever seen a fairy? Maybe you have, but you tried to explain it away with the voice of reason. Or perhaps you're a fully fledged believer, or better still, a knower. You know fairies exist. Fairies can appear to us in many different ways. Being sensitive and open to experiences is helpful when fairy spotting, as it allows us to be more receptive to seeing these magical spirits of nature. They very often appear as flashes of light darting around wooded areas or gardens, or if you're really lucky, inside your home. They can also manifest just outside your line of sight, often in the corner of your field of vision. So you're not totally sure if there's anything there at all. Sometimes they can be felt intuitively, seen only in your mind's eye. They may also bring a flowery scent or an unusual smell, rather like toffee apples or popcorn. When they appear in their full form, it's a true privilege, for they're rightly wary of humans. You could try photographing fairies. Even if you can't see them with your own eyes, a camera can often pick up a fairy essence, which may appear as a beam of light or a tiny orb. The best place to do this is out in nature, either in your garden or in woodland. Midsummer's Eve is a particularly good time to look for fairies. You're most likely to see a fairy if you care about nature and the environment, as they will be more willing to connect with you. So some of you, you do have a very, you have fairy presences, if that's a word. What I was getting while I was reading, though, is that this is about believing in magic and believing in the unseen and being able to spot blessings and in your life. And for many of you, this is also assisted if you do take a leap of faith and believe in fairies and allow and tap into how fairies can assist you in life. For some of you, this is just, it's a line, believing is seeing, is what you should take with you through the Venus retrograde, if you so desire. So I will leave it there. Scorpio, North Node, I wish you all the best, and I will see you next time. Until then, take care, be well, and stay blessed. Bye for now.